In the beginning, God created Adam and Eve, the first humans, the father and mother of all mankind. But what if I told you that there's more to the story? That for centuries, a question has lingered, quietly echoing through the corridors of time. Did God create other people? Could there be more to the human origin story than we've been told? You see, the Bible tells us that Adam and Eve were the first. But what about the diversity of humanity? The different races, cultures, and genetic variety we see today? How could all of that come from just two people? Could God have created more than just Adam and Eve? Or was there something else happening that we've missed in our understanding of the Genesis account? In this video, we'll dive deep into these questions and explore the fascinating possibilities. We'll unravel the mystery of Cain's wife. Where did she come from? Was she also a creation of God? Or is there a deeper explanation? You'll also discover why the concept of Eve being the mother of all living holds such profound significance in understanding the unity of humankind. Get ready to challenge your beliefs and explore hidden truths about the origins of humanity, the diversity of the human race, and what Genesis really says about creation. This is not just a story from the past. It's a question that affects the way we see ourselves today. Why are we so obsessed with the origin of humanity? Why does it matter that we trace our roots back to one pair of humans, Adam and Eve, or if there were others? Together, we'll uncover the secrets that have been whispered through the pages of the Bible, exposing the deeper truths that have been overshadowed by centuries of misunderstanding. And as we journey through this mystery, you may even find healing in the knowledge of who we are and where we come from. Stay with me. Let's get started. The beginning of humanity, Adam and Eve. In the beginning, God created Adam, the first man, and Eve, his wife, the mother of all living. This is the foundation of the human story according to the Bible. Genesis paints a picture of divine creation where Adam and Eve were placed in a paradise garden, blessed with the mandate to be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. Yet beneath the surface of this beautiful origin story lies a deeper question. Why two people? When we look at the vast diversity of humanity today, spanning across continents, cultures, and races, it is hard to imagine how all of this could have sprung from just one pair of human beings. This leads us to an often asked question. Could it be that there were others created by God who were not mentioned in Genesis? Could God have done something beyond what we know, something that we simply don't understand? The answer may surprise you, for the Bible doesn't speak of other people directly created by God, but it does speak of the infinite possibilities within the pair He chose to begin this story. Adam and Eve were not just the first couple. They were the beginning of the human race. Through them, God's will was carried out in ways we can only begin to comprehend. When you consider the vastness of God's creation, it makes sense that His plan for humanity, no matter how mysterious, could be unfolding in a way we don't fully grasp. While science often tries to explain the diversity of the human race through theories of evolution and genetic drift, the Bible presents a divine narrative that transcends these theories. It is not about a lack of diversity, it's about divine purpose. From Adam and Eve's children and their descendants, humanity spread across the earth, each person a unique expression of God's creativity, yet all bound by a common ancestry. One lesson here is that no matter where we come from, we are all interconnected. Each person is a continuation of the first act of creation, and every human being is part of the greater story. This is why the story of Adam and Eve is not just about two people in a garden. It is the foundation of every person's story, our collective story. As we ponder the beginning of humanity, we are invited to see ourselves in Adam and Eve, to recognize that the beginning of creation is also the beginning of our own journey. In the face of such mystery, we are reminded that God's plan is not just a story of creation, but a story of connection, unity, and purpose. The hypothesis of other people. Were there others created? Now we find ourselves asking, could there have been other people created by God during the time of Adam and Eve? The question seems natural, given the world we live in today. After all, we see countless races, ethnicities, and cultures. Could all of this have come from just one pair of human beings? Some have speculated that God must have created more people, perhaps in distant parts of the earth, who simply were not mentioned in Genesis. But what does the Bible say about this? It is important to look at the details. The scripture says that Adam and Eve were the first. There is no mention of other humans created directly by God. Instead, Genesis focuses on the genealogy that begins with them, tracing the lineage of humanity through their descendants. This suggests that Adam and Eve were the first, and from them, humanity began to spread across the earth. One of the strongest arguments against the idea of other people being created lies in Genesis 3:20, where it says, Adam named his wife Eve, because she would become the mother of all the living. This is not a statement about one family, but a profound declaration about the universality of human origin. If Eve is truly the mother of all living, then all of humanity traces its origins back to her. The idea of other human beings created alongside Adam and Eve would contradict this profound statement. This understanding challenges the modern view of human diversity and genetics. Many in the scientific community argue that humanity's genetic diversity could not have come from just two individuals, citing studies in population genetics. But this view does not take into account the creative power of God. God's ways are not bound by the limitations we often place on him. The Bible invites us to consider the possibility that, in God's perfect wisdom, he created humanity in a way that transcends our understanding of genetics and biology. To further illustrate this, let us consider the story of Noah. After the flood, Noah's family became the new foundation for humanity. Again, we see the same pattern. One family, one line of descent, from which the entire human race would emerge. While the physical and genetic diversity we see in the world today is astounding, it is not a contradiction to the biblical narrative, but an unfolding of divine creativity. The lesson we can draw from this is that God's plans are always greater than our limited understanding. Just as he created the heavens and the earth in a way that we can only begin to fathom, he also created the human race in a way that may not always fit into our scientific paradigms, but that does not diminish the beauty and truth of his creation. Instead, it calls us to marvel at the mystery and wonder of his divine plan. As we wrestle with this question, it is important to remember that God is not bound by our expectations. The creation of humanity, the diversity we see in the world, and the very essence of who we are, all of these are the result of a divine plan that spans beyond our comprehension. When we accept this, we find peace in knowing that, no matter how complex the world seems, we are part of something greater, something infinitely beautiful that God has carefully woven together. In this, we see that our origins do not define us, but our purpose does. Each person, no matter their background, race, or ethnicity, is part of the divine story. Whether we trace our roots back to Adam and Eve, or to a more complex origin, we are all part of God's plan, a plan of unity, love, and grace. So what do we do with these thoughts? How do we respond to the knowledge that our human story is more profound than we could ever imagine? Perhaps the answer lies in the way we live, by recognizing that we are all part of the same story, each of us created with purpose, meaning, and love. As we reflect on this, we are called to treat others with the same dignity and respect, recognizing that no matter how different we may seem on the outside, we all share the same divine origin. The question of Cain's wife, where did she come from? The question of Cain's wife has confounded many readers of the Bible, and it's a question that leads us deeper into understanding the richness of God's plan for humanity. Cain, the firstborn son of Adam and Eve, is known for committing the first murder in human history, killing his brother Abel out of jealousy and rage. Yet, after this tragic event, we are told in Genesis that Cain took a wife and built a city. But who was this woman? How could Cain, the son of the first couple on earth, find a wife when the Bible only mentions Adam, Eve, and their children? To understand this, we must first look at the context of Genesis. While the Bible doesn't provide every detail about every person in the early days of creation, it does give us the essential pieces of the story. Adam and Eve were the first humans, but they had many children. The Bible doesn't specify the exact number of children they had, but it tells us that they had sons and daughters, Genesis 5:4. Given the population of the earth at that time, essentially Adam and Eve's direct descendants, it is plausible that Cain's wife was one of his sisters, or perhaps a niece, as the earliest generations would have married among their own family to populate the earth. Now, this idea might seem uncomfortable or unusual, but it's important to understand the context. In the early days of humanity, there was no prohibition against close family marriage, as the genetic pool was pure and uncontaminated. This practice, however, was later forbidden by God in the Mosaic Law to prevent genetic issues that arise from such unions. But in the beginning, God's design was different, and the necessity of repopulating the earth from a very small initial population dictated such actions. This is not just a matter of historical curiosity. It is a profound lesson in how the world was designed to grow and develop from the smallest beginnings. The lesson here is about divine providence and the unfolding of God's plan. From the smallest seeds of creation, everything grows and flourishes according to His will. The mystery of Cain's wife invites us to see how God's guidance shapes human history. Even in the face of our deepest questions, we are called to trust in His plan, even when we cannot fully understand it. Just as Adam and Eve were part of a divine design, so too are we part of a story far greater than we can comprehend. In facing these difficult questions, we are reminded of God's sovereignty and wisdom. His ways are often beyond our understanding, but they are always purposeful. There are things that are not explicitly revealed in Scripture, and yet we can rest assured that the answers lie within God's perfect wisdom. Understanding the story of Cain's wife is a step toward trusting in that wisdom, knowing that we are part of a grander divine narrative that is unfolding through time. As we move forward, it is vital to remember that our questions about the past, even the most difficult ones, can deepen our understanding of God's plan for us. His purpose is woven through every detail of the human story, and when we seek understanding, we also seek to deepen our relationship with Him, trusting that He holds all things in His hands. Eve, the mother of all living, what does this really mean? Eve is called the mother of all living in Genesis 3:20, a title that holds profound significance, not just for those who follow the faith, but for all of humanity. It's easy to gloss over this line and move on, but in these simple words lies a deep and beautiful truth about the unity and interconnectedness of humanity. When the Bible refers to Eve as the mother of all living, it is more than just a statement about her biological role. It is a declaration of the unity of the human race. Every human being, no matter their background, race, or ethnicity, is connected by the shared bloodline that comes from Eve. In a world where division often runs deep, whether it be racial, cultural, or ideological, this reminder is more relevant than ever. Eve, as the first woman, is the beginning of all life, and from her all people descended. This concept challenges us to look beyond our differences and see the common humanity that binds us together. We live in a world that is filled with conflict, division, and misunderstanding. Yet the story of Eve teaches us that we are all brothers and sisters, bound by the same origin, the same Creator. Whether we acknowledge it or not, we are all part of one great family, a family that, in its essence, is deeply united by the Creator's will. The lesson here is simple but profound. Our differences do not define us. Our shared humanity does. The story of Eve reminds us that we all share a common ancestor, a common origin, and a common purpose. It's a call to embrace each other, to recognize that we are all part of the same divine plan. No one is more or less human than another because we all trace our roots back to Eve. This understanding calls us to love and respect one another, to honor the dignity of every person, regardless of their background or status. In addition to being the mother of all living, Eve also plays a crucial role in the fall of man. It was through her that sin entered the world, as she and Adam disobeyed God in the Garden of Eden. But even in the wake of the fall, Eve's role as the mother of all living is not diminished. In fact, it becomes a testament to the grace of God. For though sin entered the world through Eve, it was through another woman, Mary, that redemption came into the world through the birth of Jesus Christ, the seed of the woman who would crush the serpent's head. Genesis 3:15. This is the redemptive arc of the story of humanity. Even in our failures, God's grace is greater. Though sin and death came through the first woman, salvation and life came through another. The story of Eve, while marked by the fall, is also a story of hope, redemption, and restoration. It shows us that God's plan is never thwarted, no matter the obstacles or the failures along the way. We are called, then, to reflect on the profound significance of Eve's role in the story of humanity. She is the mother of all living, and from her, all of humanity traces its roots. Her story is a story of both fall and redemption, of disobedience and grace. It is a reminder that though we may fall, God is always ready to restore us, to redeem us, and to bring us back into His embrace. And just as Eve's role is central to the story of humanity, so too are we all central to God's plan, a plan that transcends time and space, uniting us in ways we may not fully understand, but can certainly appreciate. In the end, we are called to embrace the unity of humanity, recognizing that we all share the same origin, the same purpose, and the same Creator. The story of Eve invites us to love one another, to respect one another, and to see in each other the image of God. And as we reflect on this, we are reminded that we are all part of the same divine story, a story of creation, fall, redemption, and hope. A story that continues to unfold with each of us playing a role in its ongoing narrative. As we come to the end of this journey through the origins of humanity and the creation story, I want to take a moment to reflect on the powerful message we've explored together. The story of Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, and the deeper questions about God's creation is more than just ancient history. It is the foundation of our existence, our shared humanity. From the very beginning, we were created with purpose, interconnected by the same divine plan. It is easy to get lost in the complexities of life and the questions that often feel unanswered. But if we take a moment to step back, we see something incredibly beautiful, the divine thread that binds us all together. It's fascinating how, through the story of Adam and Eve, we are reminded that we are all part of the same human family. This isn't just a lesson from Genesis, but a living truth that speaks to us today. We live in a world that often divides us by race, culture, and background, but the truth of our shared origin reminds us that, at our core, we are all connected. Eve, the mother of all living, symbolizes unity, the foundational truth that all of us, regardless of where we come from, are part of one greater family, under the loving guidance of our Creator. It is not just a theological point. It's a call to embrace each other with love and compassion, to see beyond the surface and recognize the divine spark in every person we meet. The mystery of Cain's wife and the deeper questions about the early days of humanity invite us to trust in the wisdom of God's plan, even when we can't fully understand it. We may wrestle with these questions, but in doing so, we are reminded that our journey is part of something much larger than ourselves. Our purpose is not just to question, but to seek, to learn, and to grow in understanding. Just as Eve was the beginning of humanity, every one of us has a role to play in this unfolding story. Whether we are in moments of joy or struggle, we are all part of God's divine narrative. In the end, the story of Adam and Eve isn't just about the past. It is about us. It teaches us that no matter how far we've come or how complicated our world may seem, we are not alone. God has always been with us, guiding us through every twist and turn, calling us back to our true purpose and connection with Him and each other. Our shared origins remind us of our common purpose: to love, to live in unity, and to fulfill the great plan that God has for us. If you felt the power of this message, if it has touched your heart or brought clarity to your thoughts, I invite you to take a moment to show your support. If this video has added value to your life or helped you find light in dark days, I invite you to share that energy with us. Your encouragement, no matter how small, means the world and helps us continue spreading the message of love, unity, and faith. Every like, every subscription, every thoughtful comment is a beacon of light that keeps us going. When we share in this journey together, we create a ripple of positivity and healing that echoes far beyond ourselves. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, for opening your heart to these truths, and for being a part of this amazing community. Together, we can continue to learn, to grow, and to embrace the divine plan God has for all of us. Let's keep walking this path, hand in hand, trusting that our shared humanity will always bring us closer to one another and to the love of our Creator. As we come to the close of this deep exploration into the creation story, the profound legacy of Adam and Eve, and the essential questions about humanity's origins, I can't help but feel a sense of wonder and gratitude. You see, these ancient words are not just stories from the past. They are truths that continue to shape our understanding of ourselves, our Creator, and the world around us. The questions we've pondered, the mystery of Cain's wife, the role of Eve as the mother of all living, these are not just theological debates. They are an invitation to reflect on our own lives, our relationships, and our connection to something far greater than we can comprehend. We live in a world full of noise, distractions, and uncertainty. But when we take a step back and reflect on the story of humanity's beginning, we are reminded that there is something beautiful and unshakable at the core of it all. Our shared origin, our divine purpose, and our unbreakable connection to one another and to God. In a time when division and confusion seem to dominate, the truth that we are all part of the same family, bound together by the love of our Creator, is a message we must hold close to our hearts. The story of Eve, the mother of all living, is not just about the first woman. It's a declaration about the unity of humanity. No matter our differences, we all share the same roots. We all come from the same source, and we are all part of the same divine plan. This truth is not just a theological concept. It is a call to action for us to love one another, to see beyond the surface, and to embrace the divine spark in every person we encounter. As we've journeyed through the history of humanity's origins, from Adam and Eve to the broader questions surrounding the creation of mankind, one thing becomes clear: we are all connected. Whether we look at the beginning of humanity through the lens of science or faith, whether we question the origins of human diversity or the mystery of Cain's wife, the ultimate truth remains that we are all part of a larger story, a story written by God Himself. And while we may not have all the answers, we can find peace in the knowledge that our purpose, our journey, and our place in this world are all part of His grand design. It is easy to feel lost in the world today. There is so much that doesn't make sense, so many questions that remain unanswered. But in moments like this, when we pause and reflect on the deeper truths of our existence, We find clarity. We find peace in knowing that we are part of something much greater than ourselves. Our shared humanity is a reminder that we are not alone, that we are all connected through the divine thread of creation. And when we embrace this truth, we begin to see the world and each other with new eyes. If this video has brought value to your soul, if it has helped you find light in the midst of dark days, or if it has given you a sense of peace in a world full of noise and confusion, I invite you to share that energy. Your support means more than you can imagine. Every like, every comment, and every subscription is not just a number to me. It is a beacon of light, a reminder that we are all in this together. And when we support one another, we create a ripple of positivity that spreads far beyond ourselves. I am so grateful for each and every one of you who has taken the time to watch, to listen, and to reflect on these words. If this video has touched your heart, if it has inspired you to dig deeper into your own journey of faith, I ask you to show your support. If this message has resonated with you, please consider sharing that energy with us. Every little bit helps me continue making content that brings light, love, and truth into the world. The work I do is not just for me. It's for all of us. It's for the community we're building here, a community that seeks truth, love, and healing. Together, we can make this world a better place, one video, one conversation, and one connection at a time. So, if you've found value in this, if you've been moved or inspired, please show your support in whatever way you can. Every gesture, no matter how small, is priceless to me. As we close this chapter, I want to leave you with this thought. You are part of something much bigger than yourself. You have a purpose. You are connected to a divine plan. And no matter what challenges you face, no matter how lost you may feel at times, you are never truly alone. God is with you. His plan for your life is unfolding, and every step you take is part of the grand story He is writing. Embrace this truth. Let it guide you, heal you, and empower you to live fully, knowing that you are part of the great and beautiful creation that began with Adam and Eve and continues through you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this community. Your presence, your support, and your energy make all the difference. Together, let's continue to seek, to learn, and to grow in the light of God's love and wisdom. May we all walk in the truth of our shared humanity, knowing that we are loved, we are connected, and we are part of a divine story that is unfolding each day.